What are the best applications to download on your personal laptop or computer to help set you up for success in the tech sector? Today we're going to be going over what's on my personal laptop as a software engineer, as well as what's on laptops of other tech professionals to help you stay as productive and efficient as possible. Hi, I'm Courtney, a high school software engineer with years of experience in the industry. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more content. My main daily device is the 2023 MacBook Air with the M2 chip. My second main device that I work off is the device that you see behind me, which is my 2022 Mac Mini with the M1 chip. So those are my two main devices, but you can download these applications and things on other MacBooks and also on other devices as well, such as HP's, Lenovo's, Dell. Regardless, if you run Windows or Mac OS, all these applications should work just as fine. Just the downloading process might be a little bit different for each individual operating system. The first application we're going to go over today is Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is what I like to call a healthy middle between a text editor and an IDE. It's more of a text editor if you really actually look into it. But regardless, Visual Studio Code is a free resource that you can use to write, run, and debug code. There's a lot of different options for you to download different extensions, like things to make your code look prettier, like the extension prettier, or if you're doing things like themes to your code so it has a pretty color palette. There's so many different opportunities and options for you to personalize your own coding environment. So that's my number one, Visual Studio Code. Highly recommend for everybody to download. Now the next few things I'm going to cover are not necessarily applications. They are things that you need in order to run different types of code. Like, for example, number one thing we're going to talk about is downloading Python. Now, if you want to code in Python or do any other kind of back-end development with Python, you do need to first download it onto your device. Now, Apple devices already come with Python pre-installed, but I believe it's Python 2, and the most up-to-date Python is Python 3. The one that's pre-installed on Apple is not the most up-to-date one, so highly recommend you download the most up-to-date one by going to the Python website and then clicking download for your individual operating systems. As I said previously, this is what you have to do for you to be able to code in Python. But another backend language I highly recommend downloading is Node.js. It's really helpful for JavaScript developers like myself to work in the backend where we don't actually have to learn another backend language like Python. Similar to Python, you download Node.js in the same manner where you go to the Node.js website and download for your individual operating system. I believe it's labeled NPM package, but it may change from when I personally did it, so I highly recommend just going on the website. It's very helpful. There's very helpful explanation tools for it. Alright, back to my main list because I kind of got off track there a bit. The next main thing you should really download is Git. This is something that you can connect to your GitHub, things of that sort. It's mainly used for version control. It allows you to both collaborate with others and track your different versions of your different applications. So when you do push to production and you let other people see when you go to debug and make changes and make updates, this is kind of what you use to control the different versions of your applications and store old ones and things of that sort. Up next, I'm going to talk about an application called Docker. The main purpose of this application is containerization. It mainly makes it easier to develop and test different things out. I highly recommend looking at Docker because it helps you test out your application in various systems and environments. The next thing that I have downloaded on my computer is not really tech related, but it is productivity related. It is something that I always try to push to other people to use. It is very helpful for me staying on top of all my different tasks and jobs that I need to do. It also helps me kind of scope out different projects and what I'm missing, and helps me just stay on top of all my work. This application is, of course, Notion. It is my favorite applications that I have downloaded because it helps me both in my coding, but also helps me in my personal life, my schoolwork, all of it. Helps me stay on top of everything, make sure I'm prepared for everything. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Notion comes with various pre-made templates that you can use to personalize into your own necessities, but you can also make your own templates and build up one from scratch, which is what I did. The next and final thing I'll be speaking about today is communication. Two applications that I use for communication is Discord and Slack. I've joined various different groups to help me grow my knowledge and connect with others in specifically the tech field. Some people may see it as overrated or as weird joining things like Discords in modern day, but something that I highly, highly recommend is not taking these things for granted. While it may seem as futile and fruitless to partake in using such applications like Discord and Slack, it can actually lead to a lot of opportunities down the road where you can be making a lot of money just by collaborating with others and talking to them and seeing what they're doing with their personal projects and applications and things of that sort. Now, there are other apps that I have downloaded on my devices that I use on a daily basis, but I didn't feel like going in depth about those because A, either they're really way too common for you not to really know about them, or B, they don't really follow this niche of content. These applications are Google Chrome, Apple Podcasts, Thinkorswim for stocks and trading, Spotify, DaVinci Resolve for video editing. I try to keep my setup as minimalistic as possible, only having what I really need and what I use on a daily basis. Sometimes I'm exporting large amounts of code and it takes a lot away from my systems on my computers. So because of that, I try to keep my computers as clean as possible and not download a whole bunch of applications that I do not need on my devices. If we're trying to be as productive as possible in modern society, which is full of distractions and things that get in the way, decluttering your space, you can stay way more productive with your time. I'll have links to all the applications discussed down below. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.